Hello everyone, I hope you're well. If you're not, I hope you feel better. If you've got COVID, I had COVID, I feel for you. It's a nightmare, but as beings, we persevere, we get through these things. Now, it looks like we're going to be going into another phase of working from home with the announcements of the new Omicron variants and it taking off quite a lot and people having to take booster jabs now, with Boris recommending that people work from home again. So I figured this is a great opportunity for me to now share a couple of tips, some tricks, some guides about how to stay motivated and how to plan your day when working from home so you can still be successful and motivated with this new transition to the way that we're working now. For some of you, this might be the first time working from home. For others, this might be the second, third, fourth, fifth time working from home. But regardless, I just want to provide you guys with the details and knowledge that I have, where I've been working from home since March of 2020, since the first initial stage. On the day that we actually got sent home, I was informed that we were being sent home, so I had no time to plan for this whatsoever. I even took a desk home from work because I didn't have a desk at work at the time to work from home. So yeah, that's how crazy it got for me. Now that I've got this plan in place, I love it. I actually really enjoy working from home. I've worked in offices for about 14, 15 years. I'm quite an extrovert because I've been working with a lot of people. I've worked in sales for a long time and various other different aspects of the businesses. So I'm quite a sort of up and about, moving around person. I like to speak to people. I like to talk to people, hence why I'm starting off this YouTube channel. So it looks like we're moving more towards a remote working lifestyle, sort of for careers and businesses and various different aspects of life, which I think is quite a good thing because I don't know about your area, but in my area on the south of England, house prices have been skyrocketing, rental prices going through the roof, gas and electric bills really high. So a lot of people kind of want to stay where they are, which means remote working is really good because you don't have to now necessarily move to a different area to get a new job. You know, if you want to do the same job but get paid more, you don't have to necessarily move to London anymore. So remote working can have its downsides as well. I've read a few articles where it explains that people have struggled with when does work finish, when does life begin. You know, your job finishes at 6, but an email comes through or a project that you need to finish carries on. Someone's cooking your dinner for you, so you don't have to worry about making that. And you kind of, before you know it, you're looking at your clock and it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, and rather than doing a 9-hour day, you've ended up doing an 11, 12-hour day. Like, I'm an extrovert. I love seeing people. I like to speak to people. I like my work colleagues. I walk around the office a lot saying hi to people because that's the person I am. I like to socialise. So yeah, I get it. But right now, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. So look after yourself, keep well, don't get sick, look after your loved ones. We're all gonna get through this together. But like I say, I'm gonna share with you my tips and tricks that I have found really successful over the time that I've been working from home. If you've got any of your own ones, please pop a comment in the box below and we'll get straight into it. Tip 1 from me is adding structure to your day. Now, what I mean by this is some people have been tempted to maybe relax, chill, be a bit lazy about the day, you know, because you're working from home, you haven't got your boss on you, things like that. But what's really successful for me is adding structure to my day. So I would treat the day as if it was like a normal business day. So if you get up at 7:30 to start work at 9, for example, I would still get up at 7:30. I would get out of bed, I would brush my teeth, I would have my morning coffee, I would have my breakfast, I would have my cup of tea, you know, all those things that you would normally do. But then you might think, oh, well, yeah, but I would be driving, so I can get up half an hour or 45 minutes later and still do this thing. But you're still not getting up and about, getting your blood pumping and things like that. So what I would actually utilize is that time that I would normally be driving to work, I would actually go for a little walk around the block. Or sometimes I go down to the local park and have a little walk around there. The difference that makes to my energy levels is so dramatic. It really started me off for a much better day than if I were to just not leave the house and just maybe have a little bit of breakfast and then start work, like with 20, 15 minutes to go. So I think you might find that really helpful. It really helped me. So tip number 2 is getting dressed for work. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is getting out of bed, taking off your pajamas and actually getting some clothes on, you know, like as if you were actually going to go out to work. It doesn't need to be smart, you know, but it just means that you need to be out of your actual pajamas, sat down at your desk, ready to start work, and you're wearing some actual clothes, not your pajamas. I just find this personally really helps me because it helps my mental state into thinking that, oh, I'm not in my comfy bed anymore, I'm actually ready to work, I'm actually ready to get down to business now. Tip number 3 is find a suitable place to work. Now, what I mean by that is don't use your bed. Your bed's not gonna work. It's not gonna keep you motivated, it's not gonna get your energy levels up. So finding a suitable place to work, like potentially a desk like I've got here, or maybe a kitchen table if you haven't got a desk, or maybe some sort of coffee table in your lounge, maybe even on your sofa, but it's just somewhere that isn't your bed, where you can actually really focus, and somewhere that's kind of out of the way of other people that might be potentially in your home as well, so that you can focus on things like business calls, Teams chats, various different things that you'll need to focus on. Make it a nice area, make it your focus area. I personally am reorganizing mine at the moment. I like to keep mine just plain. You know, I like it plain. I don't want anything, I don't want any distractions on there. Some people like to put a plant on there, some put like a motivational picture, but make it nice and clean. A nice clean space is a nice clean area to work. And a clean space is a clean mind, as they say. So you'll be able to focus a lot more. Just try and stay away from being too relaxed, so not lying on a sofa. If the sofa is the only thing you've got, obviously sit on that. Just get away from the bed area. And like I say, if you also get changed and all that kind of stuff and you sit on the sofa, it's going to be a whole different idea to sitting on a sofa in your pajamas, you know. So yeah, that's what my advice would be for that, and that's what I personally do as well. I like to get out of bed, I like to go to my office space, I like to sit in my chair, and I like to work from there. And that's my office space, you know. If I go for lunch, I'll go sit in the kitchen. If I want to go for a walk, I'll go outside. That's absolutely fine. But this is my office space here. This is where I work. This is not my laptop. This is not my work laptop. This is my personal. But yeah, and that's what I do, and I believe that's what's going to help you as well. Tip 4 would be to take breaks. Breaks are really important. When I first started working from home, again, I struggled personally with working so hard that I would actually forget to take breaks. Like when you're in the office, you'll speak to a colleague, you need to grab something off the printer, go make a cup of tea, go make a cup of coffee, go have a meeting with your boss, go out for lunch with your friend, you know, or your work colleagues, friends, you know, friends could be work colleagues. When I was working from home, I found that I was so busy that I would actually just like, I would set my head down at 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'd look up and it would be 11:30 in the morning. I'd be like, oh, I haven't even had a break yet this morning. I haven't even had a cup of coffee. I haven't even had any hydration. I'm big on water, by the way. Love water. Drink water. Have 2 litres a day. Fantastic. Yeah, I found that I wasn't taking breaks. So make sure that you set those breaks. It doesn't have to be a set time every day, because your schedule's different every day, or at least mine is. Yeah, make sure that you take breaks, especially at lunch. I would forget about lunch sometimes as well. You're working till like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and just be like, oh, wow, how is it that time already? Like, so make sure you take breaks as well. Breaks are really important. They'll prevent burnout. They'll prevent like you feeling miserable, stressed. Even, you know, if you've got a big project going on and you're stressed, you kind of like feel like you're treading through treacle, walking through mud. Just 5 minutes out. You know, even just pop out into the back garden, front garden, walk down the road and back. It's huge for me, at least anyway. It's massive. Just take yourself out of that situation quickly and grab yourself back in. Tip number 5, communicate with your team really well. Now, usually when you're in the office or when you're at work, you'd be located quite next to your team, and you'd be able to talk to them on a normal basis, sitting right next to each other, or being able to walk over to that person, tapping them on the shoulder or something and being like, hey, I've got a question, can you help me with this? Or them coming over to you and asking for your advice. But when you work from home, it's completely different. You don't have that physical sort of visual contact with them anymore. It's, well, whether you use Teams or Zoom or WhatsApp or just email, Outlook, whatever communication software that you use, it's never going to have the same impact as actually being visually and physically there with your teammates. A couple of things I've done to get around this is in the mornings I'll let people know what my plan is for the day, like I would normally when I'm in the office. I use Teams. On Teams, I'll set myself as available so people know that I'm available to be spoken to. If I'm very busy, I'll set myself to busy so people know that if they do message me, I'm not just being rude and ignoring them. I am very busy at the time and I will get to them ASAP. Likewise, if one of my colleagues sets themselves to busy, sometimes I'll actually send an instant message to them directly, just saying, hey, how's your workload? Can I help you with anything? Because at the end of the day, you're all one team. And one day you may be incredibly busy and you will be so thankful when one of your colleagues turns around and says, hey, can I take something off your back? Can I do something for you? It's really powerful and it actually means a lot. And you do remember these things and that person becomes a real solid team member. And you will remember that. And if they need help in future, you'll help them. And if you need help in future, they'll help you. So it's really powerful. So communication with your teammates is really important, and make sure that you do focus on that. So tip number 6 is working your usual hours. This is really important because this allows your colleagues to know when you're actually going to be available. If you just start setting your own schedule and someone needs something from you and it's 11 o'clock in the morning and they're expecting you to be working, but you're not working because you've decided to work 9 till 10 and then 12 till 9, it's not going to be very helpful. If that person's in immediate help and they need assistance for a meeting and you're not there, that's going to look really bad on you. So yeah, as I was mentioning, communication is trust. Letting people know what hours you're working. If you do have a sort of a different schedule to people, just let them know. This builds trust, builds communication, and also will help you with your boundaries. So if you set a schedule and you're working your usual hours that you would in the office, then you're not going to have these problems with work-life balance aspects, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, where people didn't know when to finish work and when to actually enjoy their personal life. Make sure that you're available during those hours as well. As I mentioned on Teams, I'll set myself to available. Make sure that you're actually available with notifications turned on. If someone messages you or someone rings you and you're on mute and you're kind of looking at your second screen and not your main screen, you might miss that phone call. That might be a very important phone call from a client, from your boss, from a colleague that needs help, anything. So yeah, just make sure that you're working the time that you need to be working and you're actually available at that time as well. And tip number 7, exercise. So what I mean by that is spending some time away from your desk, walking around the house, doing like a short home workout exercise video during your lunch break, going for a walk in the morning when you normally would have been commuting can be really beneficial as well. Also just doing some exercises, maybe just go up and down the stairs a few times. There's plenty of ways that you can track how much you're exercising. I actually use a Fitbit. It's a Fitbit Charge 4, which actually notifies me every hour. It's not much, but it just asks you to do 250 steps every hour. 250 steps is not much at all, it really is. But what it does do is it gets you out of your chair. It will notify you about 10 minutes beforehand. I'm not sponsored by this or anything like that, but I really find it beneficial. It will notify you about 10 minutes before the hour's due how many steps you've got left to complete 250 steps in that hour. And genuinely, that's really helped me to remind me to get out of my chair and actually get some blood flowing around my body, because you might be stuck on something for ages and you might not even know how long you've been stuck on that particular project or problem, but this little bleep, this little vibrate that you get on your wrist reminds you to get up. And the amount of times it saved me, and I've got back down after doing my 250 steps or however many I've got remaining, and I've got a clearer head and I've solved that problem. So yeah, get up, get some exercise, get out there, get motivated. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, the 7 tips that I've got. Like I say, if you've got any additional tips or tricks or guides or anything like that, pop them down in the comments below. I'd be really keen to see them. If you like the video, this is my first video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and I really hope those tips and tricks have really helped you out. I've got a couple of plans for some more videos that I'm going to be doing. If you like this video, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon. You can be notified when my next video comes up. But apart from that, thanks ever so much for your time. Have a nice rest of your day.